Okay. Facebook Marketplace has struck again.
Uh-oh.
Yesterday morning, I got 2 messages from you and from Ethan. This frame jig popped up on Facebook Marketplace, and we had been bouncing around the idea of getting one to try to maybe start making our own hardtails, not to sell or anything, but just for us. And you've been wanting to build a crazy, wild, raked out chopper, so we had been tossing around the idea of getting a frame jig. Well, this one popped up yesterday morning on Facebook Marketplace, so it was one of those things. It was too good to be. You had to buy it. It was no question about it. It was, even if you used it and threw it in a scrap pile for scrap metal, it still had to be bought. It was that good of a deal. So I went and got it, and the biggest thing we've been talking about Seth's bike. Seth's bike, if y'all know, we got that frame. Don't know who made it. It's a homemade looking frame, and it's good bike. It's cool looking, but it has got one heck of a vibration in it. We thought it was the motor. You saw us take the 1100 out of his bike because we thought the crank was getting ready to come out of the motor. It just gets to, like, maybe, what was it, about 3,000 RPMs?
Somewhere in there.
And it gets a shake right up under the seat that, I mean, it really feels like you're just hitting speed bumps running at 80. It's so hard and violent. So we swapped the motor, we put that 1200 in it, and it does the exact same thing. We've beefed up places on the frame where we thought maybe it might be doing something. I don't know. We can't figure out why it's doing it. So we have had this frame hanging up there for what, 2 years?
Yeah, it's been in the background of the videos hanging up there.
Yeah, and we've got a title for it. So we had tossed around the idea of just trying to make our own hardtail for Seth and take everything off of his bike and put it on another one to see if we could get rid of that vibration. So here we are. We got it. We don't have any idea what we're doing. We don't know nothing about this. I've watched a couple videos. You know, it don't really tell you a whole lot. So we've got the frame on here and trying to figure out a way to do a hardtail, and I think we've kind of got it in our mind, figured out the basics of it. What we're doing now is, once we put this on the jig, you know, realized when we cut this to do the hardtail, we've still got to have the place to mount the motor. It's all got to stay intact. So what we're doing now is making, I guess, a jig within this jig to keep the motor mount where it needs to be when we start doing the bends for the hardtail. So what we're doing, we made a plate to mount where the motor is here. This slide rig right here, we're not exactly sure what it's for. It came with the jig. So we've got the frame set in here and held tight, so I guess when you cut it, it won't spring away. But what we're doing now is trying to make sure this point stays in place once we cut the back half of the frame off. So what we're doing is, we made a plate to bolt up here to the top motor mount. We have made this plate, this piece here, Seth just got through welding it up to bolt to this. And then we've got the plate for where the back of the motor goes. So what we're going to do is the jig actually came with some more material. We're going to take a piece of this. We're going to cut it from here to here and weld it to that. Then we're going to take a piece of this 2x2 down here and come from here to here. And we're thinking, once we do that, once the frame is cut away, this will stay in the place where it's supposed to be. So when we start bending the down tube for the backbone, we'll know exactly where the mounts need to be for the motor. And then we'll worry about this where for the axle, because we're not exactly sure how. I know he wants to put a stretch on it, so the stretch, and we'll get the height and all back. But what we're trying to do is get all this in place so we know when we cut this, it'll all stay, and we'll have points to work off of when we start bending the hardtail. It may work, it may not. I don't know.
10-4.
All right, we're getting ready to cut this piece to stick it in there to hopefully put this in there. And you know, honestly, I don't know why we're doing this. You can buy hardtails so cheap, you can't make them as cheap, but it's just stuff we like to do. We want to do it ourselves, so we may come up with something wild and crazy stuff.
Some welds better than others, but overall, it ain't gonna break.
Yeah, this doesn't need to be pretty. This has just got to be for function. So, Seth just got through welding it all up. And the main goal here is when we take these 4 bolts out, if this piece does not move and we can still get those bolts in there with no problem, then this piece is going to do the job. Because we just want this. It just can't move. We know this is where this has got to be. The motor's got to mount here. So when we make the hardtail, this plate is, these 4 bolt holes have got to be right here.
Yep.
We think this is going to hold the frame from when it cuts. It shouldn't
Collapse.
spring. Yeah, I don't think it will much because it's pretty solid here. But I don't know. We're going to take these bolts out and see if it moves.
Yeah, I think from here to here would be like overkill, honestly. I think this is really all we need. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't see how it could. Hey, you know what? It can, honestly. We may need to go from there because these bars are not, they're just wedged in here. They can still spring up.
Okay.
So, yeah, maybe we do need to go from here to here.
We'll come up with something right quick now. All right, new idea. Explain this one to us.
Well, it's just, I had an afterthought after looking at it. Once we cut this clamp is just kind of holding these 2 pipes together. There's nothing to keep it from coming up. And there's nothing really to keep those 2 tubes from going in like this, which I don't know if they will or won't. But what we'll do, and this will be something that we'll just have to do on just a temporary thing on every one. And there's probably a better way to do this. This is just what come to mind. We're just going to make this plate, when we get ready to do a hardtail, we'll just tack this on here before we make the cut, because the cut's going to be about right here. And just weld a tab. Here's what I'm thinking. So we can run a bolt through and we'll weld a piece come from here that's got a hole in it. So when we get ready to do one, we'll bolt this to it and it'll hold everything in place. But
2 tiny tacks, Ziz wheel after.
Yeah, just something that we can, once it's done, you can just take the Ziz wheel, cut it off, and then clean it up. It's under the motor. You'll never see it anyway. I I can't remember who it was. It may have even been Prism when they did their hardtails. It came, and it may not have been Prism, but it came with a tab like this that was welded on. And I think they said once you do your hardtail, you just cut that tab off because it kept everything in place, so you didn't have to. Sometimes you have to stretch these apart or pull them in to get hardtails to slide in. So I don't know. Like I said before, we don't know what we're doing. We're just giving it a shot, but I'm pretty sure it'll work.
Heck yeah.
All right. I think we've got something that's going to keep everything in place. This is the piece that we'll reuse this when we do the hardtail, or if we do them. Like I said, we're not planning on selling hardtails, so we're not going to, whenever we do one, there'll actually be a frame on the jig. We're not going to be just making hardtails. So what we'll do, we'll take this piece and bolt it to that, and then we'll tack it, maybe tack it to the frame rails here and here, just to hold everything in place. And that should keep this thing from springing this way, and keep those two bars from going in or out down here once we cut it. Because like I say, the cut will be about right here, so we'll be behind that when we cut it. So we'll see if this moves. All right, we're gonna take these 4 bolts out, and this is just my thinking. If we take these 4 bolts out and nothing moves, and we can stick these bolts back in without having to pry or do anything, they go right back in, then everything should stay in place once we cut it. We'll see here. All right, the 2 bottom bolts, they've come out and in and out freely. So with the top 2 bolts, do the same thing. And that one's not quite as free. But it was on a burr. So that one's free. This is gonna be the telltale right here. The last one that holds it all together.
Yeah.
It's gonna spring back like a slinky. All right.
Whoa, I like that.
Look at that. All right, so we're good. So now, all 4 of these bolts, nothing at all moved. So it looks like what we had planned is going to work. So once we should be able to, this thing on the hardtail to be cut probably somewhere right in here, and then right in here on these 2 bottom rails, and move that out of the way, and all this stuff should stay right where it is. This plate will be at the exact spot where we need to make the down tube and make the mounts for the motor mount back here. So we should be good to go.
Yeah. Don't have bender yet. Don't even have materials. This was just all step 1.
Yeah. Now we got to get a bender.
But that is pretty sweet. Engine jig.
Yeah. Somebody's probably going to look at that and say, you dummies. All you had to do was this, this, and this. Well, we did. We did this.
We did this, that, and the other.
Feel pretty good about it. It's been sitting here for what, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Bolts still go in.
Oh, what'd you do?
It's just a little burr. Just a little burr.
There you go.
Just a little burr. Yep. All 4 bolts go right in, so I feel good about that. And what we'll do, we'll make some measurements next after we cut it and figure out where we want the axle plates to meet back here and do all that. And now the quest is to get a bender.
Anything else?
These are, we won't be selling these.
Oh, yeah.
These are,
I mean, like,
one off.
Is there anything else you'd like to say or think?
Thank
Yeah.
me for my wonderful mind and skills. No, what did OK Recycling?
Maybe those people right there.
Recycling?
And that shirt you got on.
OK Recycling? Yes, as always, we always thank OK Recycling. They help us out a whole lot. And if y'all need anything, if you've got a factory or something that you need somebody to come in and take it out and demolish it, they'll come in and buy all the stuff and get rid of it. Check out their eBay store. And Prism Supply, our buddies at Prism Supply, they're always out there to help us. Renegade Tees does our merch. Got them. Thank them. And again, thank me. No, anyway, yeah, thank y'all. Thank everybody that helps us out. We appreciate it. Thank y'all for watching. We hope to get better at doing the videos and getting some more stuff out there that y'all enjoy. And camping season's coming, so we're going to try to do some camping and riding this year.